They found love, took risks, and cooked their hearts out in front of millions. But the end came much too soon for these reality stars. After emerging as the breakout stars of TLC's child beauty pageant chronicle Toddlers and Tiaras, Mama June Shannon and her young daughter, Alana Thompson, better known as Honey Boo Boo, got their own situational reality series. Here Comes Honey Boo Boo aired for 4 seasons across 2 calendar years on TLC and introduced viewers to Shannon's extended family. This included her older daughter, Anna Cardwell, usually referred to by the affectionate nickname Chickadee. TLC canceled Here Comes Honey Boo Boo in 2014, following allegations that Shannon had entered into a romance with a man convicted of aggravated child molestation. It was later revealed that Cardwell was his victim. In March 2023, Cardwell revealed that she'd received a diagnosis of adrenal carcinoma, a type of cancer that attacks the kidney-adjacent adrenal glands that control hormone regulation. By the time doctors discovered the cancer, it had already spread into Cardwell's kidney, liver, and lung. Less than 8 months later, on December 9, 2023, Cardwell died at the age of 29. Posting on Instagram, Shannon wrote, "She passed away in my home last night peacefully." Frankie Abernathy was selected by MTV to be one of the 7 20-somethings thrust together under one roof for the 2004 San Diego set season of its long-running reality franchise, The Real World. The punk rock-loving, substantially pierced and tattooed Abernathy coped with a lot of serious issues during her time on The Real World. A significant portion of Abernathy's screen time was focused on her day-to-day life with cystic fibrosis, characterized by breathing trouble, diminished immunity, and the production and buildup of mucus in the lungs. Cystic fibrosis usually manifests in childhood and results in a shortened lifespan. Doctors diagnosed Abernathy with cystic fibrosis when she was 3 years old. Abernathy also struggled with mental health issues, engaging in episodes of cutting and self-harm. She'd wind up departing The Real World before its conclusion to return home to Kansas City, where she was living at the time, as she was unable to bear being apart from her boyfriend. In June 2007, Abernathy died at her mother's home in Shorewood, Wisconsin at the age of 25. A cause of death wasn't initially reported, but complications of cystic fibrosis likely played a role. Speaking to MTV News, her mother Abby Hunter said, "It was very sudden. She was doing fine, and we really don't know very much yet. It still was kind of a shock, and it just wasn't how we figured things would go. It seems like her little body just gave out." Former hockey player named Ryan Knight graced MTV's The Real World in its 2010 season. Living with other selected young people in a well-appointed home in New Orleans, Knight's tumultuous romantic relationship with housemate and co-star Jemmy Carroll was well documented for the cameras.
I'm just thankful that our last memory together felt very much like the beginning.
After his time on The Real World ended, Knight appeared in seasons 23, 24, and 26 of the sports competition-oriented spinoff, The Challenge. On Thanksgiving Day 2014, authorities in Kenosha, Wisconsin, responded to a call at a home regarding an individual unresponsive and not breathing. Days before, Knight had noted having serious abdominal pain. Revival attempts failed, and Knight was declared dead at the age of 28. A medical examiner later determined that Knight died of an accidental acute intoxication, with multiple substances present in his body at the time of his death, including methadone, the anti-anxiety medication Xanax, the painkiller Tramadol, and alcohol. One of the hallmarks of MTV's The Real World was showing off its cast of strangers drinking a lot and doing it often. That was the prevailing atmosphere of The Real World Hollywood, the 2008 season of the series, which starred Chicagoland native and actor Joey Kovar. He believed his brash attitude and openness about using drugs got him cast on The Real World. Speaking to the Chicago Tribune, he said, "What you see is what you get. People want edgy. People want attitude. People want in your face. And that's what Chicagoans bring. The attitude we have is what's going to draw the ratings." After arriving in the hard-partying environment of The Real World, Kovar opted to leave the show so as to check himself into a substance abuse rehabilitation facility. A year after his ill-fated stint on The Real World, Kovar joined the cast of another reality series, Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, to further his recovery from dependencies on cocaine, ecstasy, steroids, and methamphetamine. On August 17, 2012, a friend discovered Kovar unresponsive at their home in Chicago. Declared dead at the scene by emergency medical personnel, Kovar was 29. An autopsy would indicate that he died of an overdose on opiates. Diem Brown was steadfastly honest and open about her cancer diagnosis and treatments with both her co-stars and viewers. In 2006, Brown made her MTV reality debut on the Fresh Meat season of the franchise that would soon be renamed The Challenge. Brown revealed among the physical challenges and extreme stunts that she was in treatment for ovarian cancer. After chemotherapy and surgical procedures to remove lymph nodes and sections of her reproductive system, Brown competed on the dual edition of The Challenge, and then 6 more seasons of the taxing televised contest.
This ovarian cancer wasn't going to stop her from enjoying her life.
The cancer returned, and after successful treatments in 2012, Brown learned in August 2014 that the disease had once more spread through her body, present in the ovaries, colon, stomach, and stomach lining. After enduring 2 tumor removal surgeries and multiple rounds of chemotherapy, Brown died in November 2014 at the age of 32. Each episode of MTV's unflinching documentary anthology series, 16 and Pregnant, followed a different teenage girl through the late stages of pregnancy and into the early months of young motherhood. A Season 2 installment of 16 and Pregnant that aired in March 2010 told the story of Valerie Fairman, a 15-year-old teenager waiting to deliver her baby and going through a breakup with her boyfriend and the father of the child. After 16 and Pregnant, Fairman was arrested on multiple occasions for resisting arrest and solicitation. Due to Fairman's legal and personal issues, her adoptive parents took over raising the reality star's daughter. On December 22, 2016, the office of the Chester County Coroner in Pennsylvania told E! News that Fairman had been found dead. The reality TV personality was discovered unresponsive in the bathroom of a friend's home. An autopsy later determined that an overdose of multiple drugs combined killed Fairman. She was 23. While also acting as executive chef at Los Angeles restaurant Beau and Truss and working as a personal chef for pop star Billie Eilish, Washington State-based Aaron Grissom appeared on multiple high-profile food television shows. In 2013, he presented his Tacoma, Washington restaurant Dirty Oscar's Annex on an episode of Guy Fieri's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And in the following year, Grissom competed on the Boston set season of Bravo's Top Chef. He'd be eliminated from that show early in its run, finishing in 11th place. On September 8, 2020, Grissom was involved in a traffic accident in Pierce County, Washington. While operating a motorcycle, he struck a curb and crashed. In a statement to USA Today, the local medical examiner's office reported that Grissom received multiple blunt force injuries from which he could not recover. The chef and TV personality died at the age of 34. Fatima Ali immigrated from Pakistan to the U.S. at age 18 to attend the Culinary Institute of America, setting herself up for a career as a high-level chef. After building a resume in New York restaurants, Ali enrolled in television cooking competitions. In 2012, she won her episode of the Food Network's Chopped, and in 2017, landed a spot on Bravo's Denver-based season of Top Chef. Ali finished in just 7th place on the esteemed cooking series, but she struck such a chord with viewers that she won the Fan Favorite Award, and with it, a $10,000 bonus prize. While her Top Chef season was still airing in 2017, Ali announced that she'd been diagnosed with Ewing's sarcoma, a type of cancer that attacks cartilage and bone soft tissue. In January 2019, Ali's friend and fellow chef Bruce Kalman announced on Instagram that the food celebrity had died at the age of 29.
She was very ambitious and really...
I loved her spirit.
Buck Wild lived up to its name as it depicted the lives of hard-partying young adults in rural West Virginia. The series showcased activities like parties in the woods, a party in a dump truck, and squirrel hunting. Even after losing a huge tax credit it had secured for filming the series in West Virginia, MTV produced Buck Wild anyway and aired it in early 2013. On April 2, 2013, Buck Wild cast member Shain Gandee and 2 others were found dead inside the star's Ford Bronco, which had become trapped in a mud pit in Kanawha County, West Virginia. The vehicle's tailpipe became stuck beneath the mud, which led to carbon monoxide-based exhaust building up in the interior of the car, killing everyone inside. Gandee was 21. Born in Serbia, Mirjana Puhar moved to the United States and pursued a modeling career. A big break came when she was selected to compete on America's Next Top Model. Airing in late 2014, Puhar advanced deep into the contest, eliminated in the 10th episode of the season and finishing in 8th place overall. After her America's Next Top Model season aired, Puhar returned home to Charlotte, where in February 2015, she was one of 3 victims of a triple homicide. Charlotte police say that Puhar opened the door of her boyfriend's apartment and was shot dead by 2 intruders, who then killed Puhar's boyfriend, Jonathan Alvarado, and his roommate. Authorities believe that Alvarado was targeted because he sold heroin, and Puhar and the roommate were in the wrong place at the wrong time. The America's Next Top Model star was 19 years old. As a member of the CKY skateboarding and stunt video making crew that led to the creation of MTV's Jackass, Ryan Dunn was part of the original cast of the 2000 to 2002 reality comedy series. He also appeared in the first 3 Jackass spin-off movies, as well as the reality shows Homewrecker and Proving Ground. After spending the evening of June 19, 2011, at a bar in Westchester, Pennsylvania, Dunn drove himself and Jackass No. 2 production assistant Zach Hartwell in his sports car. A mile down the road, Dunn drove in excess of 132 miles per hour and struck a guardrail. Reportedly, he lost control, and the vehicle came to a halt in a forested area, and then it caught on fire. Both Hartwell and Dunn died of blunt trauma suffered in the accident. According to a toxicology report, the 34-year-old Dunn had a blood alcohol level more than twice the Pennsylvania legal limit.
It's just sad, man, you know. It's just really sad.
Gia Allemand lasted 8 episodes on season 14 of The Bachelor in 2010. She nearly won that iteration of the romance competition show, finishing in 3rd place as titular bachelor Jake Pavelka chose 2 other finalists instead. As ABC expanded its reality franchise, the memorable contestant was persuaded to appear along with other former Bachelor and Bachelorette stars in 2 seasons of the situational living competition series Bachelor Pad. Despondent after a relationship-ending fight with her partner and professional basketball player Ryan Anderson in 2013, Allemand attempted suicide at her home in New Orleans. Discovered by Anderson and rushed to University Hospital nearby, Allemand was removed from life support systems a few days later, when doctors said that she wouldn't be able to recover from organ and brain damage. Allemand died on August 14, 2013, at the age of 29. VH1 aired a string of related romance-based reality TV competition shows in the 2000s. After appearing on Rock of Love, I Love Money, and Rock of Love Charm School, model Megan Hauserman starred in a 2009 riff on The Bachelor called Megan Wants a Millionaire. Among the reportedly wealthy suitors vying to win Hauserman's heart was a man named Ryan Jenkins. He didn't emerge victorious from that show, but came back to appear on VH1's 2009 reality competition series, I Love Money 3. In between filming of those shows, Jenkins married model Jasmine Fiore. VH1 would air 3 episodes of Megan Wants a Millionaire and scrap I Love Money 3 entirely after the discarded and brutalized remains of Fiore were discovered in Buena Park, Florida on August 15, 2009. Police identified Fiore by a serial number on a breast implant and deemed her husband the prime suspect. Jenkins went on the run and absconded to his native Canada, where his body was found on August 23rd in a motel room in Hope, British Columbia. Jenkins committed suicide, and he left a note confessing to Fiore's murder. He was 32. On the usually heated and intense cooking competition series MasterChef, Joshua Marks stood out for a few reasons. Standing at more than 7 feet, Marks was one of the tallest chefs ever on the Gordon Ramsay series.
I'm 7 feet tall, and I'm a championship basketball player.
He was also amiable and laid back, and all of the other chefs seemed to like him. In the end, the Chicago-raised Marks finished in 2nd place in the MasterChef season. In July 2013, Marks was arrested on a charge of aggravated battery when he fought with police officers following a suicide attempt. In October 2013, at age 26 years old, Marks died by suicide. His body was found by his mother in a Chicago alley. In a season of The Bachelorette that aired on ABC in the summer of 2014, star Andi Dorfman picked a self-styled adventurer named Eric Hill for her first one-on-one date. She was charmed by his introductory gift of 2 handmade dolls made by a child in South America. Their date involved making sandcastles on a beach and snowboarding on a mountain. After a couple of televised arguments, in which Dorfman and Hill accused each other of not being emotionally available, Hill was eliminated from the competition. Only then did The Bachelorette acknowledge what happened after Hill departed the series, but before it began airing. In 2014, Hill set out to make The Global Odyssey, a documentary in which he'd visit every nation on Earth in under 1,200 days and set a new world record. While paragliding in Draper, Utah, in April 2014, Hill mismanaged a slope and his parachute fell apart, causing him to strike the side of a hill at tremendous force and then fall to the ground. He died at the University of Utah Medical Center at the age of 31. After training at the Johnson & Wales Culinary School in Denver, chef Jessica Vogel went back home to New Jersey and worked in restaurants there and in California. In 2014, she appeared on Hell's Kitchen, finishing in 12th place out of 20 competitors. She also competed in an episode of Food Network's cooking contest show, Cutthroat Kitchen. In October 2017, Vogel revealed that she'd been diagnosed with an alcohol-related health issue on her Medium blog. She wrote, "I'm weeks away from 34 years old and got told I drink too much and have cirrhosis." Cirrhosis is a medical condition in which scar tissue replaces living tissue in the liver due to excessive consumption of alcohol. At the same time she was diagnosed with cirrhosis, Vogel learned that she had colitis, an inflammatory disease that affects the colon. While under treatment at a southern New Jersey hospital for colitis, Vogel suffered an incidence of heart failure. She was unable to be revived, and the chef died at the age of 34. In 2013's Survivor, Blood vs. Water, Caleb Bankston fought to win a big cash prize alongside and against his fiancée, Colton Cumbie. Bankston and his tactics lasted a while in the grueling series, competing for just under a month before being eventually eliminated and finishing in 9th place overall.
Caleb is such a cool, calm, collected guy.
After Survivor, Bankston returned to Alabama, and he took a position as a train engineer and conductor for the Alabama Warrior Railway. Just 7 months later, he died on the job. While working on a train on June 24, 2014, the vehicle derailed at a Birmingham coal processing facility, and under the weight and impact of the train, Bankston was immediately killed. He was 27 years old. In the reality TV boom of the 2000s, when networks filled their schedules with American Idol-style competition programs, NBC aired the boxing contest The Contender, created by Mark Burnett of Survivor and hosted by boxer Sugar Ray Leonard and Rocky star Sylvester Stallone. Young boxers competed tournament-style to declare a winner. Najai Nitro Turpin appeared in Season 1 of The Contender, and in his first fight, he lost to Sergio the Latin Snake Mora, who'd go on to win the show. A star on the Philadelphia circuit with a 13-1 record and the holder of a citywide title, Turpin completed his involvement in The Contender before the series began airing in March 2005. After he was eliminated from the series and contractually barred from fighting until his fate on the show was publicly revealed, Turpin grew depressed, according to his trainer, Percy Custis. In February 2005, Turpin died by suicide outside of his boxing gym. The boxer and reality TV competitor was 23 years old. If you or anyone you know needs help with addiction issues, or is struggling or in crisis, contact the relevant resources below, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration website, or contact SAMHSA's National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP, 1-800-662-4357. Call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.